Hello there. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. This one's going to be very different. I'm going to share a dream and then also a sign that some people I know saw. And it's rather encouraging, even though it talks about going through some hard things. It shows what is on the other side, which is very good to hear, very encouraging to know that there's something positive that we can move towards in our country and in our faith. The basic dream was about raising up Gideon's army and how the Lord was going to use a group of people who would come to him and seek and find the understanding of the principles of the Lord in government and in the republic and different things. I know the all the different terms for all the different types of systems of the world, the governments of the world, have their good points and their bad points. We know that a lot of people think that socialism and communism are the way to go because then everybody is helped, the poor, the redistribution of wealth, I guess, is one of the key phrases to that particular ideology, and that it helps the poor. We've got a state right now that does a lot of welfare to people. But also the Bible says if you don't work, you don't eat. And I do think that there are people that could be helped to make a living and to do things that they have the ability to do. And yes, there are those who are disabled, and I know many people who are 100% disabled and they don't have the ability to work, and they would like to work if they could. But there's a lot of people that are using and abusing the system, I guess is what I'm trying to say. The people that are not lawfully getting benefits and that type of thing. So get off of that point. But communism, as I say, communism, socialism, all those little key words are things that I think have been twisted. They don't really mean what they used to even. And we get into capitalism and fascism, Marxism, or those kind of things about having to do with government ownership of the different businesses. And capitalism has become a dirty word too because of the uh, constraints and the legalities, the monopolies, all the different greed that has gone into play through crony capitalism and those type of things. Of course, you could have crony socialism just as well, but free enterprise is very important so that people have the ability to have a business or to make a product, to manufacture something. And a lot of things have just gotten so twisted and so out of hand. The whole system of Babylon, we know, is going to fall, and that encompasses a lot of what I'm talking about. Babylon is not necessarily going to be any particular label, I don't think. I think Babylon just has to do with control of the people so that they are enslaved by any kind of governmental situation. Global government, of course, is coming into play, and I know a lot of people think that there are good things. They're trying to stop wars in many different ways. They think that if everyone is connected to everyone else and affects everyone else, then there will be peace in the world. But it also happens that if one piece falls, the rest of them go down like dominoes. And so I think that there's a lot of rethinking and a lot of resurgence, I think, of integrity in business, a resurgence of understanding the foundations of the Constitution. And through what this person saw in their dream or vision was that the end was better than the beginning after things went through the process of being torn down and rebuilt, that the nations of the world, many nations of the world, ended up with something better. And we see a lot of revolutions happening right now. We see in Egypt and the different countries in the East, we've seen some very quick and spontaneous revolutions to taking down dictatorial governments. But we also might wonder if they got anything better than what they started with there. So I think the whole world is going through situation where it's going to be regrouping in different terms. We hear about caliphates coming together, which is like a group of states that join together, just like the United States. And I'm sure that those people think that there are a lot of benefits for what they're trying to do. So I'm not trying to judge anything. I'm just trying to throw it out there and let you know that there's a lot of um, people that want to see truth, justice, freedom, all these different things restored in their lives and in their particular government, no matter what city, town, state, county, um, country you live in. Everyone wants those things. Everyone has families. Everyone has relationships. Everyone wants to go to school or to have a business or to have a job that they like. And I think people right now are squeezed. They're under a big burden of frustration. And the Lord has shown me that there are so many people that are very stressed, that are very frustrated because they see their life's work not appreciated or being used for the gain of people who are not fair or not taking care of things in an ethical way. So, as I say, I'm not naming names, I'm just giving a principle. But this particular vision had to do with the raising up of a Gideon's army, and not necessarily a fighting army, but just a group of people who had consecrated themselves to study, to learn, to pray, to seek the Lord about what was a godly thing to have in the governing of the areas that they lived in. And so that was, I also wanted to relate that to George Washington's vision. He had a vision where things fell apart and there were different wars in this country, and everything basically was totally different from the way they had designed it back in the time of the Revolutionary War, and when we set up the Articles of Confederation and then the Constitution. And a lot of things have been twisted by evil people. Of course, we know the banking systems and the easy credit and all those different things. In some ways, it has helped people. In other ways, it has become a huge burden and a frustration because people are having a harder time now getting out of debt. We will see great inflation, I think, in the near future. We may see some problems with the economy, with the fall of the value of the dollar, and a lot of things. You know, we've been hearing for years. There's been warnings, and people have had visions and dreams and words from the Lord about these things. So we do need to have a heads up. We need to be thinking about it. But the main thing I wanted to share, and this is what I think is very remarkable, a person that I know was just driving along a country road and enjoying the day, and they saw a red-tailed hawk up on a telephone wire or a power line, and they were enjoying just seeing the beautiful bird. It was a very large female, mature red-tailed hawk, and as they were looking at it, they just saw how beautiful it was and that it was healthy and doing well in the environment, which, of course, we're always thankful when the animals around us are thriving. And then as they were looking further down the road, they saw something that looked like a black trash bag that was just kind of fluttering in the wind. And that's what they first of all thought it was. And then they noticed that it was actually a bird, and it was a bald eagle. And because there was snow on the ground, they hadn't seen the outline of the head of the bald eagle. And the bald eagle had killed some prey and was working with its talons very deliberately, trying to take down the prey. And they were going around a corner, and when the eagle saw the truck go around the corner, it reared back, and they could see the talons right in front of their truck. And then they, when the bird saw that they weren't a threat as they went around the corner, then he went back to work with the business at hand in getting the meal that they were working on. So they didn't think a whole lot more about that and went into town. And then when they came back, all of a sudden they looked up and they saw the red-tailed hawk again on a different pole, and there were a lot of trees around it. So at first they didn't notice, but there was a smaller blackbird it was like a stealth airplane had just come in to their space, and the bird had not seen it, and it was coming in to attack the red-tailed hawk. And the black bird grabbed a hold of the hawk and pulled it out of its perch, and the hawk was able to deflect it, and the smaller bird was coming in for the second attack, and all of a sudden, just out of the sky came the large bald eagle and jumped on the black bird and took it out. And it was a death blow and just took it out. And this person was like astonished that they saw this in real time in the real world, because they've had visions and dreams, and they've seen different things of the Lord, and to see it actually played out in front of them was just amazing. And so as they shared it with me, I really felt that the red-tailed hawk had to do with the people of God, or perhaps the population of our country. And we decided, after we prayed about it, that the blackbird was an immature bald eagle. And for the mature bald eagle to take out the smaller eagle in defense of the red-tailed hawk was totally against nature, basically. I mean, it was very unusual. And so we also felt that the mature bald eagle, had to do with our country and the original founders of the country, and how the restoration of our country was at hand through that sign that the Lord was showing us. So we just thank you for listening, and I thought it was something worth sharing. Thank you.